Taking the opportunity during the 35th year to reflect back on the career of the F-18, I can't help but think that F-18's been here for naval aviation to sustain naval aviation through some pretty critical times.
If you remember, the F-18 was originally designed to replace the Marines F-4 and the Navy's A-7. That was the design requirement. The F-18, it was a pure multi-mission airplane in the pure sense of the word. It could go from air to air to air to ground easily with a flick of the switch. That was unheard of before.
One thing I always like to remember, back on the 18th of November, 1978, I was in St. Louis for the very first flight of the first F-18. And to see this airplane go down the runway for the first flight, here's an airplane with the first digital flight control system of any modern airplane, the first all-glass cockpit with the 3 CRTs. You had a brand new engine, the F404 with a digital fuel control, a lot of high-risk items, and it just worked flawlessly. It was a very clean flight, came back and landed, and it was just a great euphoria. That was, of my 36 years at Pex River, that was probably the most exciting day of my life.
The A and the B were the original versions, but very early they saw that they needed to advance the aircraft. There were new avionics being developed, new radars, new sensors, new weapons, and so a big upgrade was from A and B to the C and D, the C being the single seat and the D the dual seat.
The reliability and maintainable statistics on that airplane were so much better than the airplanes that they replaced. We could conduct flight ops day after day after day after day, which is 6 airplanes per squadron. It was amazing to me. I'd never seen anything like that before. It was a huge benefit to the Navy, and I think that's when we really began to realize that the Hornet was really something special.
It's been an easy airplane to fly over the years. I mean, there's been a lot of effort put into the human factors aspects of this airplane in terms of the cockpit design, the hands-on stick and throttle concept that was introduced in this airplane, the up-front displays, the way that the pilot interfaces with the airplane.
It's a fun airplane to fly because you don't have to think about flying it. You can think about the mission. The airplane is easy to fly, and then the mission system is very human factors friendly. So you can put almost all of your intellectual energy into the mission at hand. That's why I like the Hornet.
The first airplane did really well in the fleet. It always had some limitations in terms of range and carriage that were inherent in it. When we decided to go after the E&F program, we took care of some of those fundamental problems with range, stores. We built in growth for the airplane, which allowed continuous upgrade.
You never know exactly what's going to happen in the world of design and development. So at the time that you first invent the airplane, you may not even know that there's going to be a particular capability to handle a certain weapon that doesn't even exist. But you need to build into that airplane the capability, some room, the light electrical power, and that's exactly what they did with the Super Hornet.
And I think one of the successful tenets of the EF program was it didn't try to bite off, too much new technology. I mean, it was a new airframe, but it took 90% of the avionics from the CD. This program's kind of had a plan to incrementally improve itself over time. I think that's been one of its reasons it's been successful and come along as long as it has.
We bought it for 5 reasons and 5 reasons only, and that was range, payload, bring back, survivability, and growth. We started thinking about machine-to-machine interfaces, joint interoperability, and increasing battle space awareness. And Super Hornet was primed to do something like that.
I see it growing through its evolutionary phases, much like the legacy Hornets have done. It was a well-defined and designed aircraft, and the aircraft has successfully allowed itself to do spiral development and evolutionary development through the software enhancements. That will allow us to stay within this airframe for another 20, 30 years for the Super Hornet.
Most recently, and much more quietly, has been the introduction of the Growler, replacing the aging Prowler and being really the United States' only airborne electronic attack option.
We got all of the benefits of essentially 25 years proven platform, engines, flying qualities, air vehicle, and got to put proven airborne electronic attack equipment into that platform and combine two proven systems to get an aircraft that had increased survivability, lethality, and then synergies that we just got for free.
Today, the airplane's evolved into something that integrates extremely well into the rest of the air wing. Obviously, being similar to the F-18s that it's supporting, it's very complementary, and it pairs well in doing its electronic attack mission and supporting the strike missions that the F-18s are doing.
If you look at the Hornet, the Super Hornet, and the Growler, and then you couple it with the E-2D, it is the flight deck. It is TAC air. It is what the carrier brings to the fight. It is the future of naval aviation. We will soon have JSF out there to complement the capabilities that we have out there. But the Super Hornet has never stopped being a relevant platform.
And obviously they've been around a while, but they're still supporting the fleet, and with a remarkable safety record. We keep applying safety measures to them, improving capability and safety throughout their life. You know, when a pilot straps on the jet, he counts on it just working as advertised. So it's a huge thing for the fleet, you know, for them to have that expectation.
It's a machine that has taken care of you. It's a machine that's taken you into harm's way. It's a machine that's brought you back safe and sound. It's normal for any aircrew to just develop this tight kinship with the aircraft that they've flown, certainly when they've flown it for many hours and many years in many different situations.
It's always about the platform, the guys in the fleet, getting them good capability and getting it on time. And so I think the Hornet industry team has been absolutely fantastic. I think the Naval organization has been fantastic. Our support from the competencies, whether it's T&E, engineering, or the logistics side of the house has been great. When America calls the Navy and you got aircraft carriers, you have Hornets. And I truly believe that 265 is the backbone behind that capability. And that's why I still love it.
I mean, it's clear that the F-18, the Super Hornet, and the Growler are here to stay. It's going to be a cornerstone in carrier aviation for the next 20 years. The Growler will continue to evolve in capability and expand its role and expand our number of squadrons. It's an exciting time for electronic attack.
We knew it was a good airplane. We knew it was very, very capable, but I don't think any of us could have imagined that we'd be sitting here today, 35 years later, watching Super Hornets roll off the production line.
And when you build that over years, you get a system that's very flexible, very capable, and something that can expand into the future as well.